What if I told you that among the 10 Mahavidyas, there exists a goddess so mysterious, so fierce, that even experienced practitioners approached her with caution? A goddess associated with cremation grounds. A goddess said to appear when darkness is at its deepest. A goddess who, according to Tantra, can guide a seeker through fear, suffering, and even spiritual death itself. And this is the story of Maa Tara, the Second Mahavidya, the Saviour Goddess, and one of the most fascinating figures in the entire Tantric tradition. Today, we will explore the legends, symbolism, terrifying mysteries, and hidden wisdom surrounding Maa Tara. Maa Tara occupies the second position among the Das Mahavidyas, the 10 great wisdom goddesses of Tantra. Her name literally means she who ferries across. Across what? Across fear, across ignorance, across suffering, across the vast ocean of human limitations. For centuries, devotees, mystics, and tantric practitioners have sought her blessings, believing that she possesses the power to guide seekers through life's darkest moments. The roots of her worship can be found in sacred texts such as the Tara Tantra, Brihad Tantra, and the Rudrayamala. One of the most fascinating legends connected to Maa Tara takes us back to the cosmic event known as the churning of the ocean. According to tradition, when the deadly Halahala poison emerged from the cosmic ocean, Lord Shiva consumed it to save creation. The poison was so powerful that it threatened to overwhelm him. At that moment, Maa Tara appeared. Unlike a warrior, unlike a queen, she appeared as a mother. The Divine Mother took Shiva into her lap and nurtured him back to consciousness, neutralizing the devastating effects of the poison. This story reveals a profound truth about Tara. Though she is often depicted in terrifying forms, her essence is deeply maternal. She protects, she guides, she saves. Yet her appearance tells a different story. Maa Tara is often portrayed with wild hair, a fierce expression, and an overwhelming presence that inspires both fear and reverence. To many, this raises an obvious question. Why would a compassionate mother appear so terrifying? Tantric traditions offer a simple answer: because true protection is not always gentle. Sometimes, darkness can only be confronted by a force greater than darkness itself. Traditionally, Maa Tara manifests in 3 principal forms. The first is Eka Jata, a deeply mystical form represented by a single matted lock of hair, symbolizing concentrated spiritual power and transcendence. The second is Neel Saraswati, the blue form associated with speech, knowledge, wisdom, learning, and the higher dimensions of consciousness. Many practitioners seek her blessings for mastery of learning, expression, and insight. And then there is the form most surrounded by mystery, Ugra Tara, the fierce Tara. Among many practitioners, Ugra Tara is considered one of the fastest responding Mahavidyas. But her blessings often come with transformation, not merely the removal of obstacles, but the complete rearrangement of circumstances, the destruction of what no longer serves, and the emergence of a new path. Because of her intense nature, traditional teachings strongly emphasize that serious tantric practices dedicated to Ugra Tara should only be undertaken under the guidance of a qualified guru. General devotion is open to everyone, but deeper practices require preparation, discipline, and stability. Stories from tantric circles often describe encounters that test a practitioner's courage. One such account tells of a devotee performing Ugra Tara mantra late at night. He had taken a sacred vow not to leave his seat until completing a specific number of recitations. The night was silent. The room was still. Then suddenly, loud knocking sounds began striking the window. Again, and again, and again. The strange part, the practitioner lived on the 4th or 5th floor. There was no possible way for anyone to be outside that window. Yet the knocking continued. Despite the fear, he remained seated and continued his practice. Whether interpreted literally, symbolically, or psychologically, stories like these have become part of the lore surrounding Tara. They reflect a recurring theme: fear, and the ability to remain unmoved in its presence. In many traditions, Tara's Bhairava is identified as Akshobhya, the unshakable one, the one who remains completely undisturbed. And perhaps that is precisely what Tara teaches, to stand firm even when fear demands that you run. Another fascinating aspect of Maa Tara is her association with cremation grounds. To modern ears, this may sound unsettling, but in Tantra, the cremation ground carries profound symbolism. It is a place where illusions end, where social status disappears, where every human being ultimately faces the same truth. Life is temporary. In remote cremation grounds, there is often only one source of light, the funeral pyre. Surrounded by darkness, that single flame becomes a guide. Many practitioners compare this image to Maa Tara herself, a light appearing in the deepest darkness, a guide when all direction seems lost. Even her name carries this symbolism. Just as ancient travelers navigated using the stars, Tara is believed to help seekers find direction amidst confusion and uncertainty. She does not always remove the darkness. Sometimes, she teaches us how to move through it. This is why Maa Tara remains one of the most beloved and mysterious Mahavidyas. She embodies a paradox. She is terrifying, yet compassionate, fierce, yet nurturing, a destroyer of ignorance, and a protector of those who seek truth. For her devotees, Tara is not merely a goddess. She is the light that appears when every other light has gone out, the guide who appears when all paths seem lost, and the force that carries a seeker across the darkest ocean of all, the ocean of fear itself. If you enjoyed this exploration into the mysteries of Maa Tara, be sure to subscribe and join us as we uncover more hidden traditions, forgotten legends, and ancient spiritual secrets from around the world. Until next time, Jai Maa Tara.